All right, here we go. Back racing once again here on a Wednesday night, the Turn 4 podcast. Winter Racing Series kicking things off here for a Wednesday night. Thank you so much for joining us here. My home track, Stafford Motor Speedway, the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the broadcast booth. And alongside me for the first time this season with these Turn 4 podcast cats is Ashton Reekie, the wingnut himself. Ashton, how we feeling tonight, brother?
Feeling good, feeling good. Thanks for having me again, Paul. It's really cool to do some different series with you. We work well on other series that we always do, and it's nice to be into something different.
Absolutely. These guys have been putting on a show here for us halfway through the winter series, and, well, we still got about a half a season left to go here. Taking a look at the starting lineup, Skylar Shippey, the 051, going to start on the pole. Nathan Wenzel on the outside, and the 03 car going to roll off P2.
Sitting back in P3 is Sean Boudreau in the 1 car, and just outside of him is the 00 of DJ Gerard.
Row number 3 consists of 43 car Matthew Kimball down there on the inside. Aaron Thompson in the 19 going to roll off P6.
Right behind them, starting in 7th, is the 04 of Justin Prescott. Just to his outside is the 16 is Dylan Zulo.
Justin Prescott in behind in the 04 car, the 11 of Cody Parker up in the mix as well. J.D. Stockwell going to round out the top 10 with Cody Parker there outside of row number 5. The rest of the starting lineup going to scroll across on your screen there. 24 drivers, check that, 23 drivers and a race director making the call here tonight at Stafford Motor Speedway for 100 laps on the docket. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't wait, and looks like we're coming to green, Paul, so you're up.
Indeed, we are. Pace cars down to the safety of pit road. Barney in the flag stand, Bubbles in the flag stand. As green flag, we're racing here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Skylar Shippey in the 051 all the way down on the bottom side of that racetrack. And being my home track, I know how these guys get around here. How about that crossover? The 03 of Wenzel going to go down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Now watch this. He's going to get down there. Well, he's a little bit higher up, a little bit further on back. You already see it. Some of these guys getting down to the bottom of the racetrack, utilizing that apron to de-wedge the car, get that car a little bit loosey-goosey. There you see Wenzel in the 03 car with a bit of a wiggle there in the back end of the car, trying to get that car to get itself loose and handle just a little bit better. It's one of the tricks of the trade here at Stafford Motor Speedway, and it's great to see that the iRacing service is no different. These cats still side by side as we work lap number 3.
Great field of cars here, Paul. Again, first run, I watched a little bit of last week's race, or the week before. I think it was one of the last ones there, and a great group of guys, great racing, side by side. It's really interesting to watch the high side really working early on in this race.
And we do have to apologize as we look at a lot of these cars here, missing some paint schemes, having some issues with the trading paint service after the most recent iRacing update. I know they are hard at work to try and get that to us, get it fixed and back up to 100%. So struggling with some of the colors of the cars. A couple of drivers struggling with the handling a little bit there about the second half of the top 10. A couple guys going up and tapping the wall.
Yeah, it's just absolutely a track that I've got to run a couple times, and it can be challenging, and that wall comes at you quickly out of both corners. So out of 2 and out of 4, that wall really comes up on you as they tap it again. Some abrasive maneuvers to the car below them. You never know how hard they're going to bounce off that wall. They could come right down into you and essentially cause some problems. But all these guys running side by side, running pretty clean, other than the odd wall tap. I guess it's better to tap the wall than the guy below you.
100%. Just wrapping up lap number 6. Fun fact for you: the number 6 street stock is actually the car that I piloted to a top 10 here at the real Stafford Motor Speedway way back when. God, it's got to have been 3 or 4 years since I've been inside the car doing a little steel cage racing here on a Friday night. Going to try and get in this summer. We got a race on the docket sometime in June or July, so that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Shout out to Gary Spinato, Paul Verricchio Jr., all the Renner race car guys and gals tuning in here tonight. Stafford Speedway, their home track, and if you're interested in renting out a car, big slide there for the 03 of Wenzel. Get in touch with the Renner race car crowd. They're at the racetrack each and every night. If you want to get hooked up with working on cars or maybe even driving the race cars themselves, reach out to those guys over on Facebook. Lots of knowledgeable folks over there as well, and they've really brought me in underneath their wing, and it's opened up a lot of doors for me here in the real racing world. And Ashley, you and I were talking before we dropped the green flag here on tonight's broadcast. We got some cool real racing stuff coming up here in the next month or so.
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to be doing some traveling. I'm starting to gear up for our big car show down here, and there's a whole racing section. That's kind of our anticipation to the first green flag is the car show. So a lot of racing stuff going on my end. Like I said, you're doing some traveling, and when does Stafford open up for you guys?
Late April. Spring says I believe it's usually the last weekend of April. It seems to have calmed down a bit over the past couple of years. They do charge for camping now, which is fine. I got no problem paying rent. It's cool to be able to camp out at the racetrack. But it seems like the parties have kind of died down just a little bit. And I don't know if that's partially because, well, the party crowd's, I don't want to say older, because that's offensive. Maybe they're just a little bit more experienced, and the hangovers inside the race car aren't quite what they were looking for.
That can't be comfortable being hung over for 100+ laps in a hot race car.
Ugh. It's I've never done it hungover, but because I can't afford my own race car. But
right.
In any sense, I digress. Still chasing down the leader here. Wenzel in the 03 car. Moved up the track just a little bit. That SimCube car seems to be on point right now. Skylar Shippey running a solid second place after starting on the pole there. And you can see still right in the tire tracks of the 03 car, down on the bottom side of the track, trying to use that apron, scooting on up, aiming for the wall. I remember Gary Spinato Sr. told me that one time, the first time I was ever in one of their street stocks. He said, get out there and aim for the wall. And I said, oh man, you're crazy. That's dumb. Sure as heck, it worked. And it helped me pick up a little bit of time.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple tracks like that, even from my IRL racing experience. There's a couple tracks where, especially on dirt, where you're coming out of the corner and your wheels cranked towards the wall. It's one of those things you really got to adjust to. But we made mention of the 03 of Wenzel up front there. Very, very consistent lap times, running well up front, but it doesn't seem to be pushing the pace. Kimball sitting back in third, has a little bit of pressure from behind from Prescott, who also has a little bit of pressure from Thompson, but nobody's really pushing the envelope just yet. Still very early on in this race.
And you can see they're still chasing down the front two. Kimball, Prescott, and Thompson still kind of racing each other in this three-car pack here. There's the 19 car taking care of business. Caden Roberts looks like might be having a little bit of a connection issue there in the 008. We'll keep an eye on that. JD Stockwell in the 45 car a little bit further on back, kind of leading this little bit of a pack here for sixth place. Kenny Thompson, Sean Boudreau in the mix as well. Dylan Zulo, Caden Roberts, DJ Gerard having a huge slide in the 00 car, and that's got a caution out here for the 44 car, it appears.
I didn't see anything from the cameras we were watching, Paul, from up here in the booth. I didn't catch it, but I believe it looks like some rear end damage on that. Now again, that could just be from some wall taps coming off these corners with how loose they're getting.
Yeah, we'll back up the instant replay. It looks like a little bit extra.
That's not a wall tap.
Yeah, that's a car tap. That counts. Yeah, that's yeah, they're going for broke there. A couple of cars going for the same piece of real estate. We'll pull it up here on the U-House Racing Design instant replay. There's the tap, the first tap it looks like, from the 44 up on the high side, getting into the corner. Everything looking A-okay. The 44 gets down there. That's a tough spot to be in. I'm not sure who that was. I think that was Daniel Sweeney in the 012 car, all black car there. Grabs a gear. Looks like they're able to get it turned around almost. Caution flag going to fly there. There's the pace truck coming out to recollect the field. So caution flag flies here on lap number 1.
Yeah, and I think that was just a case of real estate. I think the 44 still wanted that lower position off to get a good launch off the corner, and Sweeney, if that was Sweeney, could come up off the corner, just not enough space. So just some early miscommunications, and hopefully everything's all right in those cars and they can recoup and come back out.
For sure. Still chasing down that 03 car of Wenzel. He has got the lead. Skylar Shippey, Matt Kimball, Justin Prescott, and Aaron Thompson, the top 5 as they run. JD Stockwell, Kenny Thompson, Sean Boudreau, Dylan Zulo, Caden Roberts going to be the top 10 as we are under our first caution. Easy enough for me to say. Here on lap number 22 here at Stafford Motor Speedway. And you can see these drivers getting pretty antsy already. Lights still on top of the pace car, so they're going to get another lap in and see if they can't get everything sorted out and get this thing refired here on number 24 once we get going.
Yeah, I've noticed that, actually. I was actually running a race, was it last night? Yeah, I guess it was last night, and we were doubling up before the lights went out. That's just the racer's knowledge. If you've done this enough times, you kind of know what position you're going to be in. You know you're coming to 2 to go, 1 to go. You might as well double up. You might as well get ready to go. One car, just warming up the tires. I thought he was pulling down and letting some cars go, but no, just keeping those tires warm, keeping them sticky, and getting ready to go to green here, Paul.
Yeah, David Arute does a great job cutting the grass here. Those guys are probably just getting down there to get the tires, tire marks all down there. I'm sure we'll fix them later on.
Oh, absolutely. I don't know how some of those ground crews really work these tracks.
Especially a beautiful facility like Stafford Speedway as we come down to the green flag 2x2 all the way through, racing once again at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway. The 03 going to slide on up into the outside and block the line there for the 051 of Shippey. Going to hold on 2-second right now. They are side by side for third in behind them.
Side by side for third, side by side for fourth, and then we got a single car, and then they're 2 wide. Pretty much the rest of the field on back, and again, these restarts cause a pack kind of effect, and you see cars sliding up, touching the wall, sliding back down. They're cold tires, and when you get up out of the groove and get into the extra rubber on the top side, it makes the car a handful. So a lot of close racing, and these guys are doing a really good job.
Well, they were. Big chunk coming out of 3 and 4. Caution flag flies. And that's actually a really good shot as we get things slowed down of the rubbles and the rubber balls and everything that come off of these tires that iRacing has worked on. They've got the new tire model out there. The tire surface is dynamic. The racetrack surface is dynamic. There's a lot of different things that go into these simulated race cars. And right here, we're going to get another one of those things, another opportunity to get a look at one of those things, because this wreck started up in the top 5, Ashton.
Yeah, it did, and again, I think it's just a case of the realty not being enough, and that there was a case of not knowing whether you're clear or not. The spotter may have been late to call it. There was a nose there, and there was just 2 cars that made contact. It was that's tough racing, especially early on. You almost, in that case there, hope there's a little bit more give and take, but the 19 really nowhere to go, and I think he felt like he had the nose in there already. The 04 come down a little bit, and from there on back, it was the domino effect we've often talked about.
Yeah, it's tough to try and get around folks here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Even tougher when the racing line is blocked. A couple of drivers going to take the opportunity to come down pit road and get some tires, one set of tires down on pit road for this one. Jimmy DeCourcy going to try and come down to the attention of the 74 crew and see if he can't get some tires hooked up on that 74 car. And down there in the we call it the dirty part of pit road down there, because you can see there's pavement where the cars are, but then it's kind of no man's land and back behind the Jersey barriers there. And that's one of the things that I want to get in touch with iRacing and see, and I know there's a lot of folks from up in the Northeast that want to get in touch with the iRacing folks and have them rescan this place, right? Because we've got the great big TV screen now, the TV monitor in the center of the infield. I'd love to get VidaneTV up there one of these days. That'd be a whole lot of fun. We've got the safer barrier now at Stafford Motor Speedway. Absolutely something that these drivers are happy to have. And oh, by the way, we've got the great big Cletus McFarlane Freedom Factory burnout patch in the center of the infield. So I feel like iRacing's got to get the crew back out there, get the laser jet or whatever it is, and get out there and rescan this joint and maybe get a better shot of the pulled pork stand too.
I think it's just a guy that walks around with cameras on his helmet, like on a helmet, isn't it? I'm kidding.
It might be. I don't know. I mean, I got a helmet. We could put some cameras all up on it. I'll
GoPros all the way around. Yeah, 360 view.
Yeah, they could pay me in gift cards. It'd be great.
I think they got a little bit more technology than that.
A little bit. Yeah, they yeah, for sure. We got our cell phones and a GoPro Hero 3.
Jeez.
It's not even the one with the Wi-Fi. Well, it's got Wi-Fi. You just got to hook it up.
Yeah,
But,
run a really long Ethernet.
yeah, right. Oh man. Pace truck rather, dollar in the jar, going to dip off the entry to pit road, which is back there on the back straightaway. Give these drivers an opportunity to think about that restart. The 03 didn't need to think about it any longer. There you see that restart zone marked down on the racetrack surface. The 03 car with a clean start. Holy moly. Skylar Shippey, say that 5 times fast. Skylar Shippey going to tuck into the tire tracks right now, going to drop back 3 or 4 car lengths now, and they're still side by side between Kimball and Thompson for that 3rd position. They get it all sorted out. The 19 car on top's going to take a peek down low.
Yeah, they got it sorted out for a quick bit, and like you said, there was a crossover that occurred there, and it really worked out in the 19's favor. He'll get a good drive off the bottom. Just can't clear the 43, but he should be able to get it back in this corner and be able to clear him coming on the exit. The top side is there, but it's such... I don't want to say it's hard to run, but if you get yourself in a little too high that's not in the right spot, you end up losing and you're getting freight trained quite a few positions. And so it's not an easy lane to run. You really do want to be around the bottom, like you said earlier, Paul, to try and de-wedge that car and help it get loose coming out of the corner. As we're on board with the 2nd place car of Skylar Shippey, just trying to chase down the 03 in front of him. You see the door is open there. Shippey tried to not get into the back. You saw him hard onto the binders, a little bit of right, a little bit of left off the corner, and then he's full throttle trying to just keep it down on the bottom.
Taking a full lap with the 051 car of Shippey, and that's one of the cool things we like to see with the sim racing drivers and the real racing drivers, those bright white gloves. You can see them through the windshields of these cars. You can see them through the windshields of the real cars as well. It's always something cool for the fans to kind of watch, that added little bit of excitement. There's a bit of excitement there for the 03 car, getting a little bit loosey-goosey in the back there as he's going to go up the racetrack just a little bit, boot that door on open for the 051. Woo, slide job.
Yeah, that door's been open, and like I said, the nose was there the whole time, and the 03's been doing a great job has been doing a great job on the outside, but the car is just getting real loose on the top side. That right rear is warming up, and this battle has just opened the door for Thompson, who said, you know what, you guys want to run that hard, I'm going to come down the bottom and I'll take care of both of you. He works for the 2nd place position right now.
I don't know who the 03 car is yelling at on the radio, but you can almost hear him from here. I need tires for this thing. Getting a little bit loose there in the back end of the car, especially up in that middle to high groove. Shippey going to hold on to the lead right now. Aaron Thompson going to move on into 2nd. Wenzel slips back to 3rd, still sliding that back end of the race car. There's the 45 car of Stockwell. He's up 5 spots from where he qualified. He's running in 4th, and Matt Kimball going to round out the top 5 as they run.
Yeah, once you get that right rear as hot as he's probably got it at this point from running the top side for so long, it makes it really difficult. But, I mean, he's going to have to work with it until we get a yellow. Another big slide off of the 2nd corner of the 08. I think everybody is screaming for tires at this point. The 5 car closed the door really quickly on the 08, but wasn't able to get below him, and I was quite shocked that the 08 was able to turn as well as he did once he got into the next quarter, because generally when you get a slide like that, you kind of break your rhythm, and it usually takes a few laps to get back into it.
Biggest mover of the race so far is, in fact, going to be that number 5 Exalted car of Kyle Buck. He's up in 10th right now, qualified P20 on the night, the last car to make it in on time. We took everybody here tonight, 24, 23 car field, with one race director that I don't believe put up the qualifying time, but the any sense, Brandon Newhouse jumping on in, doing the eye in the sky duty here tonight, doing the job that nobody here wants to do, and that's being the race official. Oh, the 04 car up into the outside wall. Prescott is, that car is damaged, as is the 54 car of Kyle Kenny. Caution flag number 3 flies just shy of the halfway marker. Trouble!
I told you I wouldn't use it, but I had to.
All right, somebody's got to lock up the soundboards here in the booth. Take a look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. Focus in the 04 to the 54, side by side. The Miller Lite number 11 car of Cody Parker has a great front seat of this. You see the 54 up at the outside wall, and then the 04 car, I don't know if the spotter said clear and he tried to move up or what the deal was there.
Yeah, almost same situation as it was earlier. I mean, he's to the rear tire. I would say he's there. in plenty of time, so it's not like the door closed that quickly. Just a racing deal. I think the 4 wanted a bit more track than what was available, and we end up under our third U-House Racing Designs replay for the third caution.
Yeah, that was a big hit getting up.
That second hit really hurt.
Yeah, all the way through the car almost. A little bit of a high five with the race car there as well. And this is going to give the opportunity for a couple of guys to come down pit road. DJ Gerard down there, Chris Lindquist, Kyle Kenny, Jimmy DeKorsky, Kason Hodgson down there as well. More than likely getting a little bit of fuel. These drivers can make it, I believe, on a tank of fuel the full laps, the full distance of 100 laps. They do have one set of tires that they're able to change throughout the race if they do see fit. And we saw a little tire action last night with the winner taking tires with 15 laps to go or so and driving up on through the field and taking the victory. Lots of fun to watch that. And going to throw a little tire strategy into this one here as well, because it's one of those deals that if you're able to make 50 laps on a set of tires, you can make 50 laps on a set of tires. So you'll have a little bit of mental note of what that car's going to feel like at the end of the first 50 laps. So you've got that for the second half of the race. And that's just one more thing that these drivers have to think about while they're piloting these sim cars around Stafford Motor Speedway. That's why I like doing the producing stuff and the yelling into the microphone. I don't have to think as much as these guys do.
Absolutely. So the only race that I've ever had, we'll say, help, quote unquote, driving these things was a couple of years back. I did the 24 Hours of Daytona, and which just ended up finishing. And you've got 3 other guys with you on the team, so you're able. They're kind of looking at your numbers and playing around with your tires and stuff like that while you're driving. Other than that, any kind of race, I've never had a spotter, I've never had a crew chief or anything like that to essentially help me out. So some of these guys have that spotter that gives them a hand, but most of them are doing it solo.
Yeah, and you've got the iRacing spotter that'll kind of tell you car high, car low, give off lap times and stuff like that, but it's not quite like having a real person up there, especially someone that a lot of these guys will use their real life spotter in the sim. They'll kind of hop in and maybe shoot their buddy a little bit of beer money to hop in and spot for them. It's one of the cool things that the iRacing community and the sim racing community does, and it kind of bridges that gap over to the real racing world as well. Green flag flies once again, 2 laps shy of that halfway marker. Shippy gets a great start, able to clear Thompson here as they head into 1.
I don't know if Thompson was fully clear, but his spotter said clear, and he made a hard turn to the left to make sure he could close that door on Wenzel, whose tires would have cooled off by now, and might have him back in the battle up there as he's fighting for second right on the back end of Thompson.
And we don't usually like to use this camera angle, but we have to just so we can show you the banner right there. And I think that's Cooper font. Heat Race Hero, HRH, all over the number 19 car of Aaron Thompson. How about that? The Heat Race Hero doing a little bit of magic here in the feature.
Absolutely, that's an awesome graphic. I'm assuming he came up with that on his own, but really cool to see some of these designs that these guys come out with. Trading Paints obviously lagging a little bit on all of the designs. All of these guys put a lot of time and effort into their design, even from the real race cars to their sim race cars. It's really cool to see all the different sponsors and schemes that they come up with.
That's what we like to do here at VidaneTV, is kind of bridge the gap from the real racing to the sim racing world. And we always do interviews with the top 3 of every race that we do broadcast here for. And some of the guys have kind of realized that the sim racing interviews are a little bit more difficult because you always forget a sponsor or a family member. And we ask some of the drivers, hey, how do you remember all that stuff? And, well, we had this one guy just kind of turn around and point to the corner panel and say, man, my sponsors are all on the car.
Yeah, and I never thought of it that way. A lot of guys do read it right off their cars, so they'll have to stick a sticky note to the screen.
Oh, we've done that. We got a lot of sticky notes here at VidaneTV HQ. Last name pronunciation, sponsors, how long the car is, all the different rules in the heat races that Tim likes to throw at us for the TCM events. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, it's always a good time in any of the races that we seem to do.
See working lap number 54. Everybody kind of single file throughout the racetrack. A couple of drivers peeking out just a little bit to see if the if they're able to kind of move up the racetrack just a little bit. They know they've got about 45 or so laps to get up to the front. They've got that one set of tires that they can use if need be here throughout the race. But with 45 laps to go, we've already seen a couple of drivers come down pit road to take those tires, and it looks like they may have actually gotten themselves trapped a lap down. DJ Gerard is the first car 1 lap down, back in the 17th position, as is Kyle Kenny. Everybody else still down there on pit road. Couple more cars, the 08 car included, getting up into the outside wall just a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what's going to happen here, Paul. You mentioned earlier about getting the tires at lap 50, trying to cut it at that halfway. The disadvantage to that is you also want to try and pull for a caution. You don't really generally want to try and pit under green, but when it gets to the circumstances that these guys are running right now, as you can hear, a lot more wall taps, fence taps. That's just those tires, and some of these guys are going to say, you know what, I'm going to make the sacrifice. I'm going to take my chances, go down 1 or 2 laps, and hopefully be able to get them back if we do this rest of this race under green. Oh, hard hit for the 11, coming off of 3 and 4. That's going to knock the toe out, I would say, a little bit, and the 11's going to have some wheel damage. He'll pull it up to the top side and just try and keep it out of any more trouble.
Yeah, you can see the 11 Miller Lite car getting crushed up like a Miller Lite can. Lots of damage on the right side of that car. Up to the outside fence again, and just trying to hold on here at this point up in there on the front straightaway. That turn 4 not acting very well for that 11 car. We'll see if we can come down pit road and get that all sorted out. Back up front, though, looks like Wenzel in the 03 got caught up on that high side, dropping back a couple of positions. Just kidding. Going to slide on down, open up that door on Stockwell down in the 45 car. Nothing quite there. Going to tuck back into the tire tracks with 40 laps to go.
Yeah, and they're all going to be begging for tires, so anything on the top side right now, I think if you're running the high line, you're in a danger zone. You got to get that thing single file. I knew you'd pick up on that one.
You can't say danger zone and not expect me to say it. Come on now. Everybody's still chasing down Skylar Shippey, far from the danger zone. Aaron Thompson right up in the mix. Couple car lengths on back, but still solidly in that second position. Matthew Kimball, J.D. Stockwell, and Nathan Wenzel still in the top 5. That 03 car got down to the bottom side of the racetrack, but that's a mirrorful of this battle between the 98 and the 1 car. Sean Boudreau in the 1, Stephen Dickey Jr. in the 98 car. The 98 going to take a peek down low on the 03 car. Excuse me, coming through. Hello, my spot now.
Yeah, the power move to the inside to make that work, and it stuck for half a lap as they slide up, and they use 8 tires always turn way better than 4.
Yeah, and they're using 12 tires almost with that other guy in there. Oh, 3 car going all the way down to the grass. Oh my goodness, that's going to open the door up for the 1 car. They're almost 3 wide coming out of turn number 2.
I almost yelled slide jump. That was a dirt car move.
that was most exciting action. Oh, 98 hard up into the outside wall. That's going to put them almost 3 wide. Zeus Marimba, they are racing hard for 5th.
I don't know how the 98 stayed. He was quarter of the way sideways off the corner also. I don't know if he's saved it yet. I think he's still got a handful of race car after slapping the wall. We saw that earlier with the 11 car. He's going to have a handful, but he looks to be doing all right. He'll get back into a rhythm, get back down to the bottom, and he's going to have some work to do.
Zulo in the 16 car says, excuse me, guys, while you're putting on a show here, I'm going to try and get myself a top 5 spot. He's going to slide in to the number 7 position there in that 16 car, and he's trying to beat down the door of the 1 car.
I mean, it's to the point now that they're coming to the 70 lap mark, coming close to it, and at this point, I think any kind of strategy is out the window. Now you're just going for position and hoping for the best.
Stephen Dickey in the 98 car having some troubles. Off-track incident, gathers it back up. Going to try and rejoin the racing service, or at least get back down onto the safety of pit road. And you can see starting to deal with a little bit of lap traffic up front. Skylar Shippey still holding on to the lead in the 051 car. The 55 going to go up and out of the way. That's going to put the 55 car, Jeremiah Sargent, 2 laps down, multiple laps down for the 55 car in an earlier incident, or involved in an earlier incident, as it were. Aaron Thompson able to get by there as well. And you can almost see that 19 car almost seems like he's trying to save the tires just a little bit. He gets into the corner hard, but then he just kind of drips up the racetrack just a little bit, whereas the 051 is kind of cranking that thing down and trying to get in the middle groove for the exit. So that might be a factor we keep an eye on here for the final closing laps.
Yeah, and that could be the difference in tire wear. I know the 19 came from a little bit further back in the field, so it could be a fact of the 51 or the 051 of Shippey could have saved a little bit of tire compared to the 19, who, like I said, had to work through some other cars to try and get up to where he is now.
Absolutely. Fan favorite over there in the Facebook chat is the 051 car of Shippey. Started on the pole, led a bunch of laps, and holding on to it right now with 30 laps to go. Aaron Thompson backing up just a little bit, about 3/4 of a second of a gap from first on back to third. Matthew Kimball has a gap to in front of and behind him as well. JD Stockwell there as well in the 45 car. There's that 16 we mentioned, Dylan Zulo, making his way into the top 5, up to the 5th position. Got around this gaggle of cars back here. They're still battling it out for the second half of the top 10.
Yeah, I heard a little bit of crunching going through that corner, and I was about to yell, I think we have a caution, but I looked looked out the window and saw that they were all straight. It's just rubbing racing at this point. You're almost too late into the race to take tires unless you've got a yellow. You won't make your way back up into the top 10 in any case this late in the race. But other than that, I really like the looks of the 16 of Zulo. I think it's been a patience game for him, and the way he's making things work through the corners, he looks comfortable, right on that line, at that center line, and driving hard off the corner still being able to get it off the corner really smooth and not a lot of sideways just yet. So I like the looks of the 16 car, Paul.
Not a lot of sideways, not a lot of damage on that 16 car either. A little bit there on the front nose, now that we look at it. The valence is a little bit on the wonky side, but relatively clean for the 16 car, which is a lot to say, because that battle back there for that second half of the top 10 that the 16 car Azulo just kind of drove around, yeah, that was pretty wild. He's going to take a look down low on Stockwell now for 4th.
Yeah, the closing speed he had there on Stockwell tells me he's still got something left in it now. And I don't believe he's taking tires. Now, I could be wrong, Paul, and I know you're going to throw up some sort of chart for me at one point. And with saying that, there's the caution. There's the 4th caution that we were talking about. Zulo did take tires, so there's the difference. Now he could be in a really bad spot.
Yes, because he has used those tires.
He doesn't have to pit.
But everybody else has to.
Guys behind him, when we go green, are more than likely going to.
Yeah, so we'll gather this back up. We're going to join up with the pace car driver. Might try and get ourselves a little bit of an in-car interview once we get wrapped up with the pit stops here, because they're going to happen. 3/4 of the distance. We've got a couple of guys up in the top 10 that came down a caution or two ago to get tires put on the car. And this is one of the toughest racetracks to really fake somebody out, because the entrance to pit road is actually on the back straightaway, which is kind of a unique spot. They're actually driving right by it there. So a lot of the leaders going to be staying out. Well, maybe not. Nope, that's a little bit further on. Just kidding. That's the go-kart track, I think. Here's the entrance to pit road. They're still driving by it. Wow. All right, 3rd place going to come down. Kimball going to get some tires put on the old 43 car. Sean Boudreau, Kenny Thompson, Caden Roberts. So most of the top drivers, lead lap drivers, have in fact come down pit road. You can see them there getting down to the attention of their crew. I think we're probably split about 50-50 here as far as lead lap cars go. Skylar Shippey, Aaron Thompson, Dylan Zulo, JD Stockwell, Chris Lindquist, and DJ Gerard all stayed out on track. Wenzel and the 03 car stayed out there as well. Everybody else came down pit road to get tires, and that's going to be big. There you see the one car, the right side getting dropped down. They're all getting 4 tires too, so this is going to be something to watch. 25 laps to go, 22, maybe 21 laps once we get that green flag. We're going to have half a dozen or so drivers there that have fresh tires on those cars. It's going to be one heck of a last 20 laps.
Wenzel pitted late. I'm not sure if he was a lap down. I don't believe he was. But Wenzel either missed pit entrance or whatnot, but he's down pit road now. It's not a fuel game. Yeah, it's not a fuel game, so I'm not sure. We'll have to, if we get a chance, we'll have to possibly ask him if he's in victory lane. Why the late pit stop?
You know what it might have been? That might have been somebody doing their homework, because it does take a long time for these late model teams to switch out 4 tires. So the 03 may have came down last time by taking lefts and then came down again to take rights. Because we've seen that happen a time or two. We've seen that happen at Stafford Motor Speedway a time or 12.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have to see. I don't think any of the other drivers went a lap down. So, I mean, he's still in P10, still in a great position. With fresh tires, he was a front runner early on, so maybe somebody to watch come through the field.
For sure. There goes Space Truck down to the safety of pit road once again. Shippy down on the bottom side. Thompson up on the high side. Zulo with a little bit fresher tires and a 16 going to roll off P2, as is that fourth place car, the 45 of Stockwell. The front two get it sorted out. Stockwell, Zulo side by side. Big slide for the 16. Jams up the cars in behind. They gather it all back up, and we're still racing with 20 to go.
I was just about to mention that Zulo was possibly in the catbird seat there with the freshest tires in the top 5, but those aren't fresh anymore. That slide through the center there would have really picked up those tires. But we mentioned it, Paul. I see an white 03 car making a charge on the bottom.
That 03 car is coming in a hurry. 4 fresh tires for that 03 car. Indeed, you can see just how loose that car is with those, not even able to get the tire pressures up just yet, but trying to make the best out of a late race run here on the outside of the 1 car. Big time loose in the back end. 18 laps to go. That the 03 car up to 7 sights set on the back bumper of the 43.
Yeah, he's almost reached the back of the cars that possibly didn't pit. I believe the 43 was the last car that didn't pit, so the top 7 or something like that didn't pit, and he's caught the back of them within 3 laps. So I would say he's on a charge, and he's just going to watch the guys bounce doors in front of him and say, guys, I got fresh tires. I don't want to bounce doors. I want to get past you. We'll go on board again with the white gloves, fighting the wheel, going in a little tight center. You're going to see real loose off the corner. You're going to see a little bit of a right, little bit of a left, and he's going to keep it straight and keep it fast. He's all the way up into 5th already with the caution flag flying. That's going to be our 5th caution of the night.
Yeah, that onboard shot of the 03 car is exactly why this guy is up in the booth and not behind any of these sim cars anymore. There's a lot going on behind the wheel. But we'll back up the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. I got a good shot of the 35 car down there on pit road. Chris Lindquist having some troubles here, and looks like it was right up in the mix, and we might have just barely caught this off incident, because the 03 car is in this battle. Looking at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay, focus in on that 35 car. There's a little 3-wide action for you at Stafford Motor Speedway. How about that? And there you see the 35. It almost looks like something broke on that car. Gets into the 1 car hard into the outside wall. Gets a couple other cars there involved as well. That's a tough break for a lot of guys in the back.
Yeah, that car shot straight up the track off the corner. Whether it's something that broke or whether the car wiggled and he just tried to save it and it grabbed at the wrong time. He doesn't, a little bit sideways there, and it looks like it just shoots up the racetrack on him. Really tough luck this late in the race. All those cars in that pack were having a great run.
Yeah, it looked like a racing deal indeed. A couple of guys going for the same piece of real estate. We'll take one more look at it from the VidaneTV drone cam, as it were. And you can see 35 just... It's almost like he knew he was loose. He was going to try and use those 8 wheels because they turn better than 4, and it just didn't quite work.
It doesn't always work, as we can see there. The 8... I'm going to say the 8 tires 80% of the time works.
8 tires 80% of the time, just 1 tire. No, 80%, 6 tires. I don't know, the numbers, they don't lie. They spell disaster for everybody in the back of the... I tell you what. 13 laps to go. Picking them up, putting them down. 12 laps to go. Check that as they cross the stripe. Going to get an opportunity for everybody to get re-racked and restacked. Got to thank everybody for tuning in here tonight on a Wednesday night. It is cold. Cold out here in southern New England. I know it's cold up in the Maritimes as well, where Ashton's from. We appreciate you guys tuning in here, wherever you're watching here from. We're on Facebook for VidaneTV. We're on the VidaneTV YouTube page as well. We're live over on Twitch, twitch.tv/strictly94. Trying to pay attention to all the chats at all the time throughout the evening, so let us know where you're watching from, who you're pulling for. Lots of fans out there for our current leader, Skylar Shippey, in the 051 car over in the Facebook chat. Got to give you guys a shout out as well. Thanks for tuning in. Shoot on over to Vidane.net. Grab a hoodie, grab a hat. Those winter beanies are great, man. They come with a cat toy. You can take that little pom-pom thing, you take your pocket knife and cut that thing right off, and then you got a regular beanie, and then you got a little pom-pom you can throw at the cat.
You'd have to have a cat.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I guess you could throw it at the kids. Kids like toys.
And kids do like toys, especially if, like toys that are just random.
Especially when they come from VidaneTV, too. I mean, come on. We're for VidaneTV is for everybody. Coming to the stripe for 10 laps to go. Skylar Shippey down on the bottom side. Aaron Thompson up on top. Dylan Zulo with a little bit fresher tires there in third. Matthew Kimball and Nathan Wenzel in the fight as well. Green flag flies. The front two get it sorted out. Side by side. Fourth and fifth, second, third, all over the place.
And I mean, great restart. He kind of stacked them up and took off, but everybody was on the ball and ready to go, and they're still side by side. It's a little bit of a wall tap, opens the door. They're side by side, and then single file for the back on this field. But I mean, they're under 10 to go, Paul, and it's about to get real racy.
I know you can't hear this shot here coming out of turn one, but this particular camera going into turn one, the hard cam, it gets the VidaneTV Employee of the Month. That sound right there is absolutely fantastic. These late models ripping on down there, trying to battle it out for position here at Stafford Motor Speedway with 8 laps to go. There's Dylan Zulo taking a peek down low on Thompson, trying to utilize those fresher tires, but here comes the 03. He's got even fresher tires on that thing.
The 03 drives it down below the 19 of Thompson, making that pass look easy. Zulo, again, a little bit fresher tires than the guy in the lead as they're wrecking behind them. The green flag's still out. The battle's still up front as the 03, there's the caution. The 03 was building up a move there, but we're going to go to the U-House Racing Design replay. The onboard shot of just calamity coming out of that corner for the was it the double eight? The 008?
008 of Caden Roberts going to take a look. We'll take a look at the onboard camera first, and there you see, just sawing on that wheel to keep it pointed in the right direction, getting on down here into turn number one. No time to react. You can see the car in front of him checked up for Thompson. That's a tough break there for that 19 car of Aaron Thompson up there battling for the lead. Getting a little bit involved in this one. We'll back it up, take another look at the U-House Racing Designs instant replay. There's a good shot of the front damage there on that 008 car. And here we see it in real time. A little bit sideways up front. The 08 car tries to check up. The 008 car can't see through the car in front of him, so unfortunately nowhere to go. Not enough time to react, and going to lose a lot of track position late in the going here in this one. With all the handful of cautions we've had, we've got 10 cars on the lead lap. So the 08 car looks to be rejoining the field here in the 9th position. Aaron Thompson still down on pit road in the 19 car, getting that thing worked on. With 5 laps to go here, going to get a restart with the scheduled green-white checkered here. Attempt numero uno. Skylar Shippey still up front. Dylan Zulo now the new second-place car. Nathan Wenzel in third. Matthew Kimball in fourth. And Kenny Thompson making his way into the 5th position in that 039 car. Garrett Benson in the 4 car just on the outside looking in, and appears to be the biggest mover of the race there in that 6th position, gaining 9 spots from qualifying. So, Ashton, we've seen a couple of different strategies and a couple of different big dogs in this fight, in this top 5, in this top 10. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who are you picking for the win?
I'm taking the 03 of Wenzel. He's going to be starting on the inside behind the 051, who's been strong all day, but the 03 fresh tires, and he is ready to go. He's on the move.
So we're going to give the fan pick to the 051 because I don't want to sound like I'm a bandwagon jumper. I don't want to go with everybody, pretty much literally everybody watching on Facebook, a big-time Shippey fan. So we're going to give Facebook, we're going to give social media, their pick's going to be the 051. I'm going to pick that 16 car of Zulo. We've seen some very interesting things out of that 16 car. Being able to kind of drive through the field on fresher tires and really be able to navigate that 16 car. I think we're going to be watching that 16 park it in victory lane. Lights are out. On top of that iRacing Pace truck, we're lined up 2 by 2 by 2 all the way through. We're going to get racing one more time. We're going to get to the stripe with popsicle sticks. Count them, 1, 2 laps to go here at Stafford Motor Speedway for the backup spotting services 100. And this is going to get intense. Shippy down on the bottom side. Zulo up on the high side. We wait, and there it is. Green flag flies.
Great start by the 16. Although he's going to drop in behind there, that's it's going to stack up the field behind him. Their spotters are doing a real good job at making sure they're clear, and when they are clear, they tell them quickly. But a great jump by the 051. Zulo able to hook the bottom a little bit better through 3 and 4, coming to the white flag as they're going to do another lap under this green flag. Zulo to the bottom of the 051. They make contact.
The 03 car going to take over the lead. Is he going to hold on to it? They're wrecking for second. In behind him, the 039 cutting the grass. David Arut's going to have to cut that again. The 03 car in 3 and 4 for the final time. Coming to the checkered. Wenzel going to take it.
What a wild finish, Paul. That was not what I was expecting. Some great racing by all the cars up front. Some rough luck. That was just wild way to finish this. As I can't even believe that happened.
I'm trying to put it into words. Neither one of us can. I'm sweating. That was intense.
I mean, I'm looking at what you've got up on the screen right now, and they've got DJ Gerard as first.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out what went on there as far as the official wording. We got to take a look at this finish here. We'll let the Big Red Trailer sort things out here momentarily, but if we can get rid of this graphic, here we go.
There was some contact on the backstretch, Paul, after the initial wreck. I'm not that was after the checker there, but I'm not really sure if it was intentional contact or if they're calling it another incident. So there was the original so here they've taken the white. There's the wreck in 1 and 2. The 03 seems to be clear. He gets a little contact there and up into the wall, but he stays on the throttle, and there's more contact there, but I believe that was the 43 that comes up into him. Unless it was just a misscoring issue. But nonetheless, what a wild finish, Paul. That was wild.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch, just being able to catch back up on the replay there as well. You can see the 03 still up in the mix as well. But a wild finish to this one here at Stafford Motor Speedway, and we'll see if we can get we'll see if we can find out who was in the top 3, and then we will find out if we can get a word in with them, and we'll see if we can get in touch with the trailer here. See if we can talk to. We'll let those guys sort it out in the big red truck. We'll take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back here for the post-race show. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. And back at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway with our unofficial winner, DJ Gerard, the 00 car, coming home and parking it in victory lane. DJ, talk to us, man.
Yeah, a little bit of a rough night. Had a good qualifying. Couldn't get down to the bottom there, so you had that. And then finally was able to get down to the bottom, log some lap, got wrecked, came back, took tires, got wrecked, went a lap down, came back, and luckily picked up the win.
Absolutely. Stafford Speedway, one of the more popular tracks, almost a home track up here in the Northeast, my home track here as well. How cool is it to get a victory here at Stafford Speedway?
it's cool to get one at Stafford. It's really cool just to get my first win in my own league overall. So we'll definitely take it.
I ran a league for probably 15 years. I never got to win one of my own races. That's one of the tough things about being a race official, for sure. But got to give you an opportunity here, DJ. Who helps you out with the league? Who helps you out with the virtual race car?
51 Designs helps us out with the league. Did my paint schemes for all my cars, so I got to give a huge shout out to them. Backup Spotting Services for sponsoring the night. GTR Simulators, Lightning Chassis, Turn 4 Podcasts. YRD Designs also for doing the race directing, and obviously VidaneTV for doing all this for us.
Coming home with the first victory of the season. Hopefully, many more. DJ, congratulations, man.
Thank you much.
And going to slide a little bit further on down pit road. Good night to be the boss man. Garrett Benson in the 4-car. Biggest mover of the night. 12 spots gaining from that qualifying position. Coming home with a P2 finish unofficially. How we feeling, Garrett?
I had no idea I was going to finish second coming to that white flag. I had 3 minutes of damage from a previous incident. My steering wheel was at 11 o'clock going down the straightaway, and I feel fortunate just to be here.
So do we. One heck of a finish coming to the line here at Stafford Speedway. One of the more close, controversial finishes here tonight. But the history books will say that 4-car going to finish P2 here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Got to give you the opportunity. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
I got to thank Greg Benson's Auto Sales, Backup Spotting Services, Turn 4 Podcast, Lightning Chassis, 51 Designs for doing the paint scheme. He did an awesome job. I got to thank Vidane for broadcasting for us, and YRD Designs for doing the race control for us.
Garrett Benson coming home in second position, and just looking down at the pit road, don't believe we've got that third place finisher of Matt Kimball. May not even know he finished in third place yet. That could be a real possibility. But in any sense, a great show here tonight at the virtual Stafford Motor Speedway. Ashton, what's on the go for you next? We got TCM finale tomorrow night, correct?
Yeah, we're going to be jumping back into the late model and trying to run down what I think Tim called it the invitation race or something like that. It's essentially all the guys that can't seem to qualify for a feature. Gonna run that race, try and get a victory in my own league. We just talked about that. So the Wingnut Productions late models, hopefully I can put the car in even on the podium. I'd be happy with. Other than that, just getting ready for the real racing world.
Yeah, you and me both going to wrap things up with iRacing tomorrow night with that TCM finale. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. Full week of racing next week as well. Back here with the Turn 4 Podcast Winter iRacing Series here on Wednesday night. NEP's back next Thursday. And I believe we got something going on Tuesday there as well. But the real racing world kicking things off as well. I'm going to be heading down to Tampa for 10 days next month. Very excited for that to get hooked up with the TV production crew for the Winter Nationals. That's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to kind of crossing the bridge once again from the sim racing world into the real racing world, and looking forward to meeting up with a bunch of friends and fans and folks out there that enjoy us here on, any night of the week that you tune in. It seems like we're almost live every night of the week. Thanks so much for tuning in on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. Give us the likes, the subscribes, the shares, all that good stuff. It helps us out insanely. But that's going to do it here for us for VidaneTV. For everybody, I am Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr., alongside the Wingnut himself, Ashton Reiki. We will catch you on the flip side.
And when we do,
we're doing it live! Ah, shoot, wrong button. Here we go.